Hello.
We'll get everyone signed up, just give us 1
If
second.
you're gonna make a comment, you're on a little line here to sign in.
Okay.
Just wait up right
We're getting close.
signed up.
Hey, how's it going?
They just want you to sign in for, I guess, whatever they have to do.
I'm rushing as fast as I
Okay.
can. Hurry up and wait.
Well, Brad, Dale's good company.
Good morning, how are you today?
Well, you got a camera. I was thinking it was an air pump. You were gonna pump up their bicycle tires while you were here.
I didn't bring my bike, sorry.
It might have been before your time when we had the big air pumps, air compressors.
Good morning, how are you? Good. You through there? Okay, go ahead, you can start. Phone number, yep.
Oh, wow, a text.
Yep, we'll send a text to you until you checked in.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is pretty snazzy.
Yeah.
Really slow.
These are, I know, but these are the same systems like schools and all like public buildings are going to, so.
Are we in a public building?
It's just the world, technically, yeah. I mean, it is amongst the members, so. There he goes. Next. Okay, this is proprietary. There you go. This next one just says I have cameras around, just making sure you know that. There he goes. Check this place. And then you can type why you're here, or you can put in A if you want to. Okay, oops, that's okay. They'll know. Okay, and what district do you reside in? It's 2, 3. Yep. Okay, and then finish. Perfect. You just want to wait here, I'll get your badge. Okay. Get this guy started. Okay, there you go, phone number. There you go. Thank you.
Was I what? No, it's been about 2 years. Not me, not one of
I
them.
mean, it's,
You
I
would-
guess I should
Not
clarify,
that.
it's not truly a public building because of the security
Yeah,
issues you have to put,
right now
because
we
we
have
are
6
part of
people, so
FERC,
2
part
are
of all of the
laterals from
security
other
for
counties
energy.
and then 4 brand
So
new
we have to do
So,
security stuff,
I
know
hope
who's in
everyone's
here, know who's
finally
not.
fully staffed.
This actually came from CISA,
Awesome.
from cybersecurity
Oh, yeah.
infrastructure, from the Department of Homeland Security. They're the ones that really wanted us to institute this system. Kind of a pain, but it is what it is.
So you're saying the federal government is doing something here? What are
No,
they
they don't
doing?
do, they monitor all energy sectors. So through the Department of Energy.
Okay.
And they, to make sure that they protect security-wise, all of their infrastructure.
I don't know what district for sure.
Where do you live?
You know where the shooting range is at?
Uh-huh.
In Bayfield?
In Bayfield?
Probably on that side of 223.
4. Okay, finish. Perfect. And just wait here a minute, if you want to jump in there. Anyway, hey Brad. Yeah, just
Okay, so I have to sign in to go into this meeting?
yeah.
Okay. And if I don't sign in, I don't get to go into the meeting? Is that what you're saying?
Let me ask you this, why wouldn't you sign in?
How are you?
I'm just being honest. I'm the safety security officer here. We're trying to protect people. I would have everyone sign in, so.
Yep. Yeah, well, I prefer to be secure in my person's papers and effects.
Okay, there's nothing
And-
private in there except for, there's nothing I'm asking that's private.
Okay.
So in this agreement and everything, there's nothing that's private.
Okay, so what is it asking
I'm
me?
not asking your social security, I'm not asking, all it is gonna ask your name, your phone number, your email, so we can get a hold of you. So I know how to contact you, especially, let's say there's a fire in here. Something happens, and I'm missing a certain amount of people in this building. I need to know who's in this building to make sure I get people evacuated. So that's why the phone number. The email's for the board so they can get back to you if there's questions that aren't answered in their time. I don't know what that is. That's the question they're asking. They want to know what district you're from so they know which board members to get a hold of you. And are you recording everything without my permission?
Oh, I don't need your permission. Trent. What's your last name, Trent?
Weber. See it? Oh, it's not on there, sorry.
Trent Weber?
Yep.
Okay. Nice to meet you. So, I'd rather not sign in. I'd rather just go in and be secure in my personal effects. And
Officer, what are your thoughts on that? This is a private.
It's kind of up to you guys on the public meeting versus everything.
I don't get to make those.
His name's Adam Howell.
Adam Howell.
He comes to
Here, let me
city
get you
council
checked
meetings
in
all
right
the
here
time.
first, sir. Let's get you checked in real fast. You want to just start signing in? I'll tell you about it as we go through, so we can get everyone signed in for here. So, okay, it's just your phone number first. I guess I'm trying to understand why you don't want to, Adam.
okay. Well, I've got a policy too. It's that whoever I come into contact with asks for my name. I ask them to put on some gloves and a face mask. So could you do that for me, please? It's just for my security.
No.
It's for everybody's safety.
You're coming into a building that needs to be secure, so you tell me if you want to keep my building secure or not.
Yeah, this is just for my safety and for everyone's safety, really.
This is not for, you would have to give that to every person. You have enough to give it to every person.
The PPE is just for everybody's safety, sir.
That's not PPE for us
Hey,
in
Adam,
here.
he's not gonna put that on.
We just need to give up a little bit of liberty
Just not.
for our security, and then we'll all be safe. Do you see how that works?
Sir, I'm just asking nicely. This is what we have to do to check in here. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. You just can't enter the building. I have to keep you out of the building. It's just the way it is. Trust me, I'm a member here too. I've lived here my whole life, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a policy that requires me to tell you where I live and
No. it
what my
doesn't-
name
It
is?
doesn't ask that. Ask your name, yes. It doesn't ask where you live.
Okay.
And your. And then you know what district you live in?
Breen.
Breen, okay, 2. Yep. Next. And then finish, and you're done, and you can go ahead in there. So. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So what are you giving to people?
I guess we're at an impasse. They're just, all they are just shows their name on there and that they've checked in. That's all we know, so we know who's in the building, so we're protecting people.
Yep. Protecting people from what now?
If there's a fire, if there's any security things, if anything happens in here that's dangerous, we know who's in the building. We have to protect the people in this building and the people that work here, everything. So we just do.
Right. Yeah, that's why I wanted you to put on the gloves and the mask, just to protect
I'm
everybody's
not going
safety.
to answer these questions anymore. We already went through that, and you're recording me. I'm just not going to do it. I don't even want to go there. If you want to be in this building, you have to check in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way it is. If you don't want to be in this building, I will ask the officers, and we'll try to tell you nicely to please leave. I'm just trying to be nice. We have to know who's in this building. We have to. It's just the way it is. So you have a decision to make.
Well, did somebody tell you who I am here today?
I got your name from the officer just now. You know that. You
Okay.
heard that.
Okay, so you know who I am. Is it some way you can just make an exception
Let me
for
ask
me?
you this. Let me ask you this. I can't make exceptions. What happens if, what do you say? His name's Adam? Is that what you said? Your name's Adam, right? What if I know you're in this building, Adam? A fire starts. I count for everyone on my list there, because I'm checking. And I count for everyone, and I get everyone out. But then someone burns in here named Adam. And I didn't have your phone number. I didn't have a way of contacting you. I didn't have a way of even knowing you're in here because you didn't check in my building that I'm protecting. Who's liable? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that I'm responsible for my own safety here.
No, not in this building. In this building, La Plata Electric is responsible for your safety, to protect you and to protect the other individuals that are in here. That is part of what we do. We protect people here. So we're going to protect you and we're going to protect others. And so if there's a fire, I need to know you're in this building. If you want to come in this building, I have to have you check in. That's just the way it is. I have to have you check in.
Mm-hmm. So for some reason, if I put my name into your computer, it's different than from the fact that somebody else just gave you my name and you get to use my name.
I just told you I need you, if you want to give me your name like that, I need your phone number too, because I got to be able to get a hold of you in case there's an emergency, so I know that you got out of the building, or you could be burning in here. And just so you know, the first thing that's going to come, fire is going to come to the door here if there's a fire. And then I have everyone out, they're going to ask me, is there anyone still left in here? And I'll be like, what I saw, no one was in there. But there is a guy by the name of Adam here. We need to call him and see if he's still in there, because I don't know where he went or what happened. And so they'll call Adam and they'll see if you're still in the building or not, because I have your number, because I'm able to get a hold of you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, we're at an impasse here is what it is. I can't let you in the building unless you sign in. It's just the way it is. I gotta protect the people in this building. I gotta protect everyone that's in this building. That's my job, and I'm going to take it seriously.
It's supposed to be open to the public though, right?
It is open to the public. You can sign in and go in there. Everyone already went in. There's nothing in that sign-in that has to do with anything that's private or that uses your personal information in any way. So it is open to the public. If you go into a school, let me ask you this, if you go into a school, it's open to the public, what would you have to do to go into a school?
We're at the LPA board meeting right now, we have Adam here.
See, you're recording her. If you want to answer my question on that, sir, if you go into a school, keep it on me, and you want to go into that school and you want to see your kid or visit somewhere, or you're going to teach some, what are you going to have to do with that school? You're going to have to sign in, give them your phone number, and check in saying, here I am. You're actually even going to go deeper, because they're going to scan your driver's license, and they're going to make sure that you are who you say you are. I'm trusting that you say who you are. I'm trusting that. And I shouldn't, but I do, because I don't have any way, and I'm not law enforcement. I'm not going to check someone's license. But I am going to make sure I know who's in this building to protect the people in this building and to protect you. I'm going to do that.
So the officer's conspiring over the phone against me. She just called up her supervisor to ask how to deal with me.
Adam, I am just making sure that we are respecting your space as well as LPA's. I don't want to tell you something that is incorrect, so yeah, I contacted my sergeant who's on duty to look into it, so I'm not giving you any false information.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting to hear back from him.
Okay.
Thank you for doing that, officer. That's great.
So I know that most people, they just want to comply and just let you get all their personal information from them, but
Can I ask you why you're here, sir? I mean, you don't have to answer, obviously, but why did you want to come to this meeting today? What is the reasons behind why you're here?
I want to hear what the public has to say about LPEA and the way they're spending their money.
Great. So that's perfect. That's the right reason to be here. Why a camera?
Why not a camera? It's for transparency?
I asked you a question. Why a camera?
Do you have something to hide?
No, but I'm asking you why. That's an easy question. It's simple. Because you're not even filming the meeting because you won't sign in. So you're filming me and you're filming this officer, so I'm just asking you why. What is it you hope to gain by this?
Well, I'm trying to get into this meeting without having to waive my Fourth Amendment right. Do you know what the Fourth Amendment
You're not
says?
giving, yes I do, and you're not giving any of the information that would waive the Fourth Amendment at all. You're not. If you go in any government building, you go in any secure building, you go in any school, you go in any of these things, you would have to sign in so they know who you are, so they protect you and protect the people around them. It's just the way it is.
Cool, thank you. Okay, sounds good, thanks, Sergeant. All right, bye. All right, Adam, so, LPA property is private property. I'm not here to argue the safety thing that's between you and LPA, but it kind of comes down to, you can stay out here, not sign the thing, or if you want, you can have him trespass from the private property. That's something I can enforce. I cannot enforce him to sign that, so that's kind of how.
No, and that's fine. I don't want
How
you to
that
force.
works.
I don't want to force him to sign it. That's up to him. That is his right to sign it, whether he wants to or not. What I can control is that you can't come in here until you sign it. So I can protect you and I can protect others. That's just the way it is. And so you have a decision to make. I don't want to say you're trespassing because you're not. I would love to have you here, but you have to sign in. So please make a decision, and if you decide that it's not worth it to sign in and give your phone number, and I'll tell you exactly what's on that, your name, your phone number, your email, what district you're from. You have to sign an NDA agreement that just says if there's anything proprietary in here, like if we design something up there, that you won't share it because it could be used for some type of activity that would not be right. And you have to sign saying, I do know that your cameras in this whole building, they're watching you right now. You have to sign and know that. Just say, I know it. And then from there, you don't have to put any other information on, so no other private information. And then you can go in this building. If you're not okay with that, I'm sorry, but I can't let you in the building.
Is there any way you can get a supervisor out here to
No,
talk about this?
no. Sorry to tell you, no. This is the way it is. If you really want a supervisor, I'll get them, but they'll tell you the same thing I'm telling you. Is that really what you want to do? I mean, if it makes you feel better, I can totally do that. You're part of the membership. I'm sure you have and pay your bill here, and you're part of the membership. So I want you to be able to go to this meeting. I do. I truthfully do. But you do have to sign in, and you do have to check in just like everyone else. So if it would make you feel better to talk to a supervisor, one of the VPs, I will grab one, and you can talk to them. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Just wait here. Are you good? Just stay here.
So she's trying to solicit a trespass for me being in this building here? It's a LPEA building.
Adam, I'm not trying to solicit anything. If they want you trespassed, I have to enforce that. He says he doesn't want you trespassed, so I'm not going to enforce anything. I told you that safety thing is between you and LPA. I have nothing to do with that.
I think you were the first one to mention trespass, were you not?
I told him that what my sergeant told me is that I can enforce a trespassing flag or warning, but I cannot force you to sign that. That's nothing to do with what I enforce.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, I'm Adam.
Adam, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I understand you're not willing to sign in to the building today.
Well, I'd rather not. Yeah.
So-
I don't really wish to give my personal information just to go into this meeting here. It's a public meeting, and I'm supposed to be secure in my person's papers and effects, and
So we're a utility. We require every single person that enters the building to sign in. This exact same setup is at the front of our office as well. And it's just our policy and protocol here. We are a utility. It's a highly secure area.
mm-hmm.
So to enter the meeting, we require you to sign in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trent, when I first got in here, he said this is a public building. Is that
I
correct?
told you I was wrong. It's a private building.
It's a private building? Okay.
I did tell you I was wrong on that.
Are your meetings,
It's a private building, but it allows public access as long as people sign in.
are these meetings subject to the Colorado the Sunshine Act? Do you know what the Colorado Sunshine Act is?
I do, and I don't know the answer to that question.
You don't know the answer? Is that what you said?
I don't know the answer to that question off the top of my head. I do not know that.
Okay.
So are you a member of the cooperative?
I am.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for being a member.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is our policy. Everyone who comes into the building for any purpose signs in. That's just our policy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All the directors have signed in, the employees badge in.
Mhm.
You're all recorded
Yep.
as we come in. So we invite you to come in if you want to
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and sign in for us.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna get back to the meeting.
Okay.
Thanks, Jesse. Thanks, Trent.
Thank you. Okay. And I knew you were going to, I hope you're recording this too, because I knew you were going to say that. I misspoke, and it is a private building with public access, as
Mhm.
long as you sign in. So everyone has a right to be here, as long as they sign in.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to make that clear, so.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at an impasse. We're at that point. And Adam, we can keep going in circles, we can keep doing this all you want, but you need to just make a decision, and this is your decision, not mine. It's your decision. If you want to come in this building and you want to come to this meeting, please sign in. And if you're not willing to sign in, please leave.
Okay. I'll sign in.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Adam, for signing in. I appreciate you.
Hey, you're welcome.
Ruggles, District 4. I guess, I understand the energy transition you guys are trying to make, and it makes sense. I mean, let's clean up the environment. But I also see, well, let me back up. My mother retired from what is now United Power, used to be REA, I think Union Power. And my uncle was, I don't know, he was a big wheel there. He lived right on site. They used to have housing right there. And so we still have friends there, and they say that their transition is not quite going as they had hoped. But there's one thing that they did that was quite interesting, is that they were very forthright with their customers. And they are telling their customers, yeah, we got to raise the rates. We have these costs, these costs, these costs. And in public meetings, they've let their customers know, or I should say their members know, that their rates are going to go up for this transition. But it's all for the better good of this whole service area. And I don't feel the Plata Electric has done that. When I asked for their plan, their projected costs, which are just assumptions, you said, oh, we're in lawsuits, we can't provide any of that. We would give our competition, which was Tri-State, a competitive advantage. You're not there no more. So why are we not laying it out on the table? This is what our costs are. We're gonna spend this capital on solar facilities. We're gonna enter these contracts, and lay it out on the table for us to see. That's all I really wanna see. If it works, it works. And I can look at it and tell you it works. Used to manage the Williams plant out on County Road 307, and we did a lot of things like that. In fact, we were one of your largest providers of green energy. They probably still are. So, you know, we did hundreds of millions of dollars in projects. So please, you know, let's provide the information. And if it doesn't work 5 years down the road, we can look back and say, we did this, this, and this wrong. But if you don't provide that, then there's gonna be people really pissed off and coming back and replacing this board because my power bill's up 50% in 5 years. So please, let's be a little more forthright. Let's get Dan or whomever to put all the information on the table so that we can see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Let's go far left in the front there. Yes, please.
I'm Karen Pontius, I live in District 3, and I'd like to echo everything that the first speaker, Lori Bryan, said, rather than go over everything she said, and then also remember, I'm very much in favor of the things that the board's doing to get us out of Tri-State and move forward, so keep on keeping on. I took a couple notes. The Texas grid failure, Texas is not even on our grid, so look to Texas for the reasons for that. That has nothing to do with what's going on here. Keep up the good work. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Karen. In the back?
Folks, my name is Michael Bowdy. I live on a small farm and ranch in Florida Mesa in District 2. I'm here to voice my support for LPA's sourcing of local energy. I've personally been involved in over 2 gigawatts of electricity infrastructure projects throughout the U.S. So I've experienced firsthand the economic impact and the job creation of these type of projects in rural communities similar to ours. Pipe fitters, electricians, skilled or unskilled labor, various construction jobs, including sheep ranchers growing their flocks to mow the lawn on utility scale solar, all the way down to the food trucks that are there to support those construction workers. There was an economic boom in this county early teens, basically since 2014 has been in decline. So there's a tax revenue shortfall. Opportunity to build local projects can help restore that. So I'm very confident our community, this board, we can recreate and continue that positive economic development with more durable electricity projects, including geothermal and other clean, firm generation technologies. So just to reiterate my support for the board for LPA's local procurement strategy. I think it's excellent. I'm very excited to be part of the economic development. Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. One over. Yes, you. Emily, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Emily. Live in D3, and I just am coming to say that I think LPA made the best decision for its members in leaving Tri-State. And I just want to iterate 3 main reasons that I believe that. The first is that Tri-State has a long history of environmental degradation and pollution, but that's not the only reason for leaving Tri-State. The second is that the contract was very restrictive and expensive and continued to hurt members. The third is that Tri-State has a very outdated governance plan and an unstable business plan going into the future. So on the topic of environmental sustainability, Tri-State has a long history with coal and gas that sticks member co-ops with the price tag of dirty coal energy. Even with its movement towards renewable energy that's been very recent, members are still responsible to pay the cost of those stranded assets. That's over $4 billion in debt. So the members are stuck with that stranded asset cost. So LPA, by leaving Tri-State, is alleviating the members' responsibility for those stranded assets. LPA members care a lot about renewable energy and sustainability, and Tri-State's power supply did not serve LPA members on that front. The contract was extremely expensive. Our community cares about local generation, which we were just talking about, and it was limited to 5% under the previous contract. Additionally, Tri-State has recently asked all of its member co-ops to re-sign a longer and more restrictive contract. This does not allow LPA members the flexibility that we deserve. Not to mention, the contract that LPA would be locked into is paying increasingly high rates. Tri-State continues to raise member rates. This is a consistency across co-ops. So it's somewhat like renting a house versus buying a house. We would have continued to spend our money to Tri-State, a group based in Denver with lots of other co-ops, rather than investing money into LPEA. Finally, LPEA made the best choice for its members by leaving Tri-State because of the governance structure. Tri-State's governance structure allows minority co-ops to dictate the future of Tri-State rather than giving a proportional size of the member co-op to control it. So LPA was being controlled by lots of small co-ops that weren't serving LPA members. Leaving Tri-State allows our co-op to best serve its own members. Additionally, Tri-State is only staying afloat as a business because it is relying on federal government subsidies to help pull it out of its debt. These new era funding are appearing more and more to be unlikely, and the federal government is slashing this budget. So I am skeptical of Tri-State's ability to stay afloat as a business, making it a very poor business partner. I want to add a couple other comments here it's been great to see folks here. Reliability is federally regulated, so that concern is something that you should take up with the federal government and the agency's budgets that are being slashed, not the co-ops here. Additionally, Tri-State has continued to raise member rates, so that is another Tri-State issue as well. And finally, I've been at almost every LPA meeting for the last 3 years, and it's so exciting to see a bunch of folks here. I'm really, really happy about it. These meetings have been in person for a lot of the part, especially the meetings leading up to the buyout. So I really encourage folks to continue to come. It's great to be here. And I encourage folks to stay past this comment period and actually listen and learn, because they do great presentations where you can learn a lot more. So rather than commenting and leave, continue to come and listen, because they're great public meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. I see you in the middle there.
My name is Bruce Schisler, District 2. Excuse me. Just like to say I'm opposed to the leaving of Tri-State. I think that if you look at renewable energy, as attractive as it is to some people, it will not carry the day with the electric grid. With the advent of AI, the advent of electric automobiles, the need for charging stations, people like Jay Paul, with his need for electricity to keep the country fed. Renewable energy isn't just, it's not going to carry it. And I met a person one time whose daughter worked for the wind farm up in Rock Spring. Her job was to go around in the morning to all the wind towers, pick up the dead birds, just threw them in the back of the truck, disposed of them. She was not allowed to discuss it with the public and especially the press. Now, like I said, this is a person that I met. It was his daughter. But anyhow, and I think one of the other things that the LPEA needs to be concerned of is the hardening of the electric grid. Now, I don't know if LPA can do that much, not that themselves, but as a veteran, I'm kind of concerned about that, because you take one well-placed missile with a warhead from Iran, China, or anywhere else, and that detonates at altitude, it can wipe out the entire electric grid over about a quarter of the United States. And nobody's doing anything to harden the grid right now. So I think that's something that should be looked at. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Let's go in front.
My name is Lisa Zimmerman. I'm District 4. I'm actually here to represent single-parent households and low-income households, which is something that's not been represented here. I don't hear it represented quite a bit in this county. The effect that the rates are going to have on us. This rate increase is huge for us. I mean, just a little bit. Everybody's complaining about the unhoused and everything and why they're there. What's gonna happen when single parents can't pay their electric bill? What's gonna happen to those kids? They're gonna have to make a choice. Do I pay my electric bill or do I pay my rent? You know, do we wanna have families with little kids in there with no heat? I know I'm struggling, I have a cough right now because I'm not running my heaters because I'm trying to already keep my electric bill as low as possible. How many other households in this county are feeling like that? You know, I go to a lot of meetings, I sit on a board myself, and so I appreciate everybody here doing what you're doing because I get it. I work a full-time job, I sit on a board, and I volunteer as much as possible in my community. I'm also paying for my home, my bills, and then I'm paying for my son's, who is a freshman at CU Boulder this year, for pre-med. You know, so I'm paying bills here, and I'm paying bills there, and I'm struggling. You know, we're not getting pay increases at work. We don't make enough money to actually survive in this county, but we do, barely, barely. Add another $20 to our bill, you know, we may not make it. And I'm doing really well compared to a lot of other single parents in this community, and I know I've been doing it for 23 years in La Plata County. I've been paying for electricity for 23 years, and this has always been one of the hardest bills for anybody in my minority. So I just want to make you guys aware, and I would challenge any of you to take 1 month and live off the income that the rest of us do and try to pay your bills.
Thank you, Lisa. In the back there? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sam Perry. I work at the Vallecito Hydro Project up just below the Vallecito Reservoir. It's a 5 megawatt project. It's been running pretty consistently for the last 30 years. And we're in the process of renegotiating a contract. If we stuck with Tri-State, we would not be able to sell that power to LPEA based off their, I think, heavy-handed contract that doesn't allow for local generation, whether it be fossil-based, renewable, or whatever. So I'm really thankful to this board for their foresight to kind of take the initiative and put us as members in a better position where we can actually take advantage of some of these local resources like the Vallecito Hydro Project. And yeah, I just hope I get the chance to work with you guys.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks.
All the way on the east side of the room.
Good morning, Brad Blake, District 2. Thank you again very much for holding in-person meetings. I know this young lady said not a lot of people show up, but I remember being here at numerous meetings where a lot of people did show up. And frankly, a lot of people, like the young lady that just spoke, work every day and can't show up at an hour like this. It really is why I'm here to talk. I'm in the middle of a workforce housing project in Bayfield, and this rate increase, small though it may be to the board members here, hurts the poorest among us, the people who work here in our county, the employees that have 3 and 4 jobs, the businesses that are having a hard time finding people just to come to work, people that are trying to decide whether to pay for gas in their car, their electric bill, or their food bill. These are people, I'll give you one example. One of our first purchases of one of our homes in Bayfield was a nurse, and she barely got in. This rate increase will hurt her. So I would encourage you to think about your rate increases, what it does to the poorest among us. I talked to Mr. Compton about the rate increase, what it meant to the government of La Plata County this year. They're budgeting $200,000. Last night I was in a Bayfield town hall meeting. Their rate increase is going to be 10%. At the meeting last night, they said that they were not notified until the increase until yesterday. Some of your biggest purchasers of power, like the tribe, the college, the hospital, other big purchases of power were not even notified until just the last few days about increases. I personally asked them if they knew about it, and they said no. So I think you owe it to the members of the co-op to have an open discussion about those prices. I guess one of the biggest things that I want to close with is, I don't think any of us in this room are opposed to cleaner energy. I've been in the solar business. I love hydro. There are many things coming that I think are going to completely pass wind and solar. And that's going to leave this group in a lurch if you're not proactive. Things that may not even be quite on the radar yet, they're going to happen. I've seen them. I've been in the business long enough to see things grow leaps and bounds. Personally, and somebody mentioned this idea of having to pay for things long into the future, like coal or other forms of power. Solar has the same problem. When solar is no longer in use or gets damaged, it becomes hazardous waste. And you all are proposing a 2,000-acre farm locally here that becomes hazardous waste after its useful life. I hope that you'll think about the environment. A lot of people here say they support the environment and are for the environment. I think everybody here is. I grew up here last 65 years. I love this place. I don't want to see the environment hurt. But I can tell you that I've been to large solar facilities. They hurt the environment. I've been to large wind. I'm the only one in this county probably that's ever erected wind. And I had a wind generator here locally even. They do hurt the environment in their own way. So thank you for your time. Thanks again for coming. Please consider the poorest among us when you're making these decisions. It's very insensitive for board members that drive 3 and 4 electric cars to tell somebody to suck it up and pay the extra 7% when they're barely making ends meet, or get a big salary that nobody in this room can comprehend. Thank you.
Brad. Who else? Way on the left? My left, sorry.
Dan Hunt, I live in District 3, and I'm in support of continuing disassociating from Tri-State. Also want to thank you because of the Sunnyside farm, in that I live in the MSU Mobile Home Park, and 19 of our residents were able to sign up for that, and 50% of our residents are below 50% AMI. So some of those residents, once they pay for their rent and utilities, probably have just a couple $100 left over. So thank you for doing that, and I hope you do more in the future.
Thank you, Dan. Let's see, I'm going to go back up onto the Zoom. Jesse, you have the floor.
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Rusty Rossiter, I believe I'm District 2, and in a recent article, I just kind of want to ask a question really. In a recent article in Durango Herald, it says that the buyout from Tri-State is going to cost La Plata Electric $210 million. Of that, $60 million will be up front and $150 over time. Where is La Plata Electric getting the funds to pay for this, and will that be passed on to its members? And what benefit does that have to the members to pay all this money and to turn around, to leave Tri-State, and then to turn around and buy 30% of its power back from Tri-State? That's all I have.
Thank you, Jesse, for being here and for bringing that up. Anybody else in the room? Yeah, I see you again.
My name is Werner Heigl. I live in District 3. I've been coming to these meetings for just about 20 years. Not as much recently, but definitely during the transition period. And in my recognition, what I heard is Tri-State has not been a reliable partner. They literally blackmailed utilities, co-ops into signing the 50-year commitment 25 years ago. Kit Carson was the only one that didn't sign, so it's a great opportunity now to look how Kit Carson is doing. Their rates are low. They didn't sign, they also got out. Because we waited so long, because of opposition, now interest rates are higher. But let's learn from the past. It's important to know the past. Second, the southwest of Colorado is self-reliant. We are far away from any highway, from interstate, from metropolitan areas. And I trust that we should invest here and increase our reliability. This means if we separate from Tri-State, some of that money is going, instead of to $1 billion, $2 billion, $1 million salaries of the CEO, I don't know exactly what they make, but years ago it was already 1.5. All of that money stays in the local community. That has a multiplier factor. And if it comes to the reliability, I'd rather trust LPA staff, all of you back there, than somebody who sits in Denver who is responsible for 40 plus co-ops. Rate increases are inevitable because of material cost increase, because everything has gotten expensive. As a matter of fact, the electricity costs have gone up less than any other general cost of living increases. Solar reliability, solar recycling. There are now already recycling facilities available. When you look at the embodied energy in solar panels and the recycling, all of that can be done. It's much less expensive than, for example, redoing, breaking down power plants. So yes, I do support the separating from Tri-State. I trust your staff, and I trust the local community, and I really appreciate that that money is being kept local. And the last comment is, who wants to get into bed or stay in bed with all in bed? Have a neighbor, let's say, start business, when they have $1 million, $10 million, $100 million debt. That's the case with Tri-State. It's $4 billion, and somebody has to pay for that. So, thanks for your comments, and thanks for holding these meetings.
Thank you, Werner. Right in front.
Yes, Daryl Stockley, District 4. I represent the workers. I had to take off work to be here because there wasn't an opportunity for me to come and talk to you guys outside of work. And I appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate your holding this meeting so that we would have an opportunity to talk to you. There's $200 million that you guys are saying is going to cost to buy out from Tri-State. How much is it going to cost for the 2,000 acres of the land, and also all of the solar panels? And what's actually used to make solar panels? How do you make solar panels? You use coal. You don't use solar energy to make this solar equipment that you guys are putting in. How long does it last? How long is it going to be before we have to replace it? What's the cost of the replacement? How do you get rid of 2,000 acres of solar panels safely? We are already connected to this. And a lot of these people, it costs too much money for electric now. And I'm not saying that you guys are the reason for that. It costs too much for everything. But when you increase more and more, and there's costs that we're not hearing about, because I've not heard anybody talk about what it's going to cost for the land, the solar panels. I haven't heard that. And we didn't get a notice of any kind of increase, but I'm sure we'll get the increase on the bill. But a co-op, you guys have to represent all of us. And the thing is, that they were talking about jobs that's going to be created here and stuff like that. That's wonderful, but what's the salary of these positions that he's talking about? See, I build houses here. Do you know who I build them for? I build them for people that can afford a $2 or $3 million home. I live in a trailer house. And I've been doing this for 40 years. I don't make the money that the people that I build for make. And the people, the jobs that you're talking about, you're creating, that's wonderful, but they're not going to be able to be here because they can't afford to stay here. If we, why don't we deregulate electricity in Colorado? Have you guys looked into that? Because it makes it competitive. And you guys are looking for competitive pricing for your people. So why don't we try to get something going to deregulate, because then it's not a monopoly anymore. Because then the people get to choose what they pay and who they use. We did it in Colorado, in Texas, whenever I was there. And you know what? It brought the prices down because it made everybody competitive. If you don't have any competition, you can charge what you want. But the people that really get hurt by it are the ones that you guys need for this place to keep going. That's the small people, the little people. The people that make the small salaries are what keeps this area alive. So that the people with the large salaries can enjoy themselves. And I'm not saying anything about either side. I'm just saying it's just the way it works. We've got to remember the little people so that we have a spot for the people that do spend more money in here. Because if we're not here, they're not going to have anybody to do the work that they need done. And if the rates increase enough that we cannot stay here, then the people that are, you're going to have to bring people in, they're going to charge more money. Your salaries, the salaries of the people that are here, I'm sure don't reflect the salaries of some of you here. And a co-op should kind of understand what it means to have a small salary. Whatever you have to decide. Like many of these people have said, they have to decide what they're going to pay. They have to juggle one bill and then try to pay the other bill, and then they have to pay late fees because obviously they're not getting the bills paid on time. And anything that you guys can do, thank you, anything you guys can do to actually help everybody from the bottom up is going to be beneficial. And I appreciate your time, and thank you for looking, thank you for having this meeting. But I did ask also that there would be a way that we could have a town hall meeting or something where people can come. Because many people can't take off work. They can't come here to tell you what they think or how they feel. And it'd be really awesome if you guys could do that. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Daryl, for taking time to be here. Anybody else? Yeah.
Just for the record, about 10 more minutes in the public comment.
All right. Looks like we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, my name is Bill Hutchins. I'm in District 4, Forest Lakes. I'm concerned about several issues. One of them is transparency, which has been brought up. The other one is the cost of the buyout, which everybody's brought up. I'm also concerned about conflicts of interest, which nobody has brought up. And I think that everybody probably in this room knows that solar cannot deliver base load energy. And I want to know what your plan is for providing base load energy unless you stay with Tri-State, which is currently what's going to provide the base load energy that we need. And the other thing I'm concerned about is the financial stability of La Plata Electric, because once you have to borrow the money to pay off a lot of this buyout, then you're going to need to borrow money to put facilities around the community, and you're going to have to borrow money to do that too. So I think that what you're going to do right now, you're spending 3%, according to the 2023 annual report, you're spending 3% on long-term debt. And I think once this program gets in full operation, you're gonna be looking at 20 to 30% long-term debt. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Bill. Anybody else in the room? One in the back, barely see your hand.
I'm Roy Horvath. I live out at Green. I grew up there. I've lived out there most of my life. The thing I want to bring up, relative to the analysis that was done that led to the decision to pursue the buyout with Tri-State, I really believe that it's incumbent on Plata Electric. I know that there's a lot of things in flux right now with the government funding and everything else, but given the amount of money that's involved in that buyout, I believe it's incumbent on Plata Electric to go back and do an analysis as close as possible to the point in time of that buyout to fully serve the fiduciary interests and fiduciary obligation to the membership. I don't know exactly what that's involved. Like I say, I appreciate the fact that there are a lot of variables, but if you do not do that, then the membership has virtually no basis for justification for all the costs that they're going to shoulder that will go toward the buyout. Thank you.
Thanks, Roy. In front. Go ahead, Graham.
We also have one online who's already spoken.
Yeah, we'll do this one here, and then we'll do Hope, and I think that'll probably get us to the end of our allotted hour.
Hi, my name's Terry Oliger, and I've been a member since 1990 when I was a teenager and I first moved here. I really appreciate the fact that you all are holding these live meetings again. I used to come to them and when I could. And I guess my biggest concern is, with this buyout, I have a lot of friends that are living paycheck to paycheck, working full-time, both parents, single parents. They have no idea these rate hikes are coming. And I told a few that I know, and they're scared to death. And so if you could please consider the working class. It's so hard to get by in this town. Did I mention I'm from District 2? Anyway, it's so hard to make it in this town, and I'm so worried about people that are working full-time jobs, taking care of the families, living paycheck to paycheck, and it scares the life out of me, this buyout. I'm worried about it, yeah, I am. And so if you can just please consider the working class, be a little more transparent with everyone as we go forward. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Terry. Okay, one more. I see Lori's hand, but I believe you were sort of first in line, so we'll get Hope as our last member comment today. Go ahead, Hope.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Hope Shuffleman. I live in Bayfield. I actually am in District 4, but I am actually out of town. I am actually going to be reading a letter from a young gentleman in District 4 to you guys. My name is Jonathan. In October, I lost my father to a heart attack at Purgatory this year. We were roommates, and I am just 23 years old. I suddenly found myself in a completely alone. He was my only living family here in Colorado, and his passing not only has left me with grief, but I have been struggling to keep afloat financially. Since his passing, I've had to take on 3 jobs to stay afloat. I work as a ranch hand on the Winchester Ranch, which is our ranch, in addition to my weekend and night jobs. The rising cost of living has made it nearly impossible to keep above float, and the recent LPEA rates increase had only additionally added to my hardship. My electric bills, which has once been manageable, has now become significantly financially straining me. No matter how many hours I work, I feel like I am constantly trying to catch up. I never imagined I'd be in this position where I'd have to work around the clock just to keep the lights on. The financial burden has become overwhelming. These rate hikes has made it even harder for the working people like me to survive. Sincerely, Jonathan. I, again, just wanted you guys to hear this letter from a young man who does work on our branch here, and to please keep them in your guys' decision making. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hope. All right, I think that's it for our public comment time period. Typically, well, we like to try and not let this be a dialogue, because then we can't get everyone's comments, and it's really hard to respond to every single person in their comments. But I do think since we had such a large group of people here today, and we heard a lot of things several times, I wanted to allow a little bit of time for CEO Hansen and perhaps staff to address some of the recurring themes that we heard. The intent here is to only provide information that is sort of historical and factual. That none of this will be discussion about strategy and theory and who thinks one thing and who thinks another thing, but just to make sure that information that is already public information gets reiterated and addresses some of the questions and comments that came up. Chris, I had sort of in-person meetings that came up a lot. I had notification of rate changes, like how do we handle that from a timing standpoint, how our members are allowed to and facilitated to communicate with the organization and with the board. If you have anything on top of that, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you've got that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and yeah, I appreciate the moment just to add a little bit of information. A huge thank you to everybody for being here this morning. I wanted to just quickly fill in a few of the items that Ted just mentioned. Thank you for the comments about kind of the timing of meetings, and we are, this year, the board has scheduled 6 in-person board meetings and 6 remote meetings. So we kind of have a hybrid schedule for 2025. Those are scheduled to start at 9 a.m. On those days here in the main boardroom. I appreciate the comment about the community outreach events that we're doing. We've got the first town hall community conversation scheduled for March 25th. And then I've also added kind of a Coffees with Chris concept that we're going to be partnering with the board members in each of the districts around the service territory. Those are typically scheduled to start at 8 a.m. Tried to put those early in the day so the folks can still make it to work on time, but I appreciate the feedback on the timing, and happy to look at some alternatives as we schedule more of those in the future. The communication on the rate change, we sent that out to all members, both electronically and in paper format. And we've got very clear timelines that we have to meet from a compliance standpoint. So there's a 30-day comment period that's available for everyone. So I appreciate everyone's input on that. We were already receiving lots of comments electronically. The final thing I'll mention, Mr. Chair, is just the references to the 2,000-acre solar farm. That is not a La Plata Electric project. That is being put forward by a private company, and so just want to make sure everyone's clear that that is not directly related to La Plata Electric. So thanks for the moment, Mr. Chair.
No, thanks for touching on those subjects. And I just want to touch on one more subject. I appreciate everyone being here. If you didn't get to say what you wanted to say today, if there's something else that you want to say, I want everyone to realize that this is not the only opportunity to do that. You are very welcome to reach out to the organization at info.lpea.coop, or really to any of your board representatives. I mean, that's a lot of what we do. It's a lot of our responsibility is to hear what our constituents are saying and share that information amongst the board and amongst staff. So there are a lot of ways to communicate. I know many of you have. and please keep that up. Finally, before we close this out, Emily mentioned that it's great to stay and listen to this, but I also completely respect the fact that you've already carved out time to do this and appreciate that. So you're more than welcome to be here for as much of the meeting as is open session, but also we will not take any offense to any of you walking out at any time, because I know you have important things to do. So thanks very much for being here. Rachel, did you have a comment that we didn't?
Yeah, I just wanted to address, I heard a lot of, and we've heard a lot of input on transparency and communication around information. And just want to let you all know that has been heard, and that is a very alive discussion. We're trying to figure out how do we get information to y'all, to the questions you have, while not compromising any of these complex legal situations we find ourselves in as we navigate. And so, I don't know if we addressed it explicitly, but please know it is a very real and live conversation. We're trying to figure it out. Really appreciate everyone's really explicit questions of what you want to understand. We're trying to figure channels out. So keep it calm, and we'll try to get it back. Thanks.
In-person meeting. All right, let's.
Heard that.
All right. Let's move along with the agenda then. We are now on to consent board items. Let's see, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent board items. Thank you, Rachel. Move to approve.